Hello again, and very happy New Year here from Billy Ho Sports. Appreciate you all joining me. Also, happy birthday to our future Derby trailers as of midnight tonight, 12:01. They're going to be 3-year-olds. So, we're going to do some prep races this week. I've already done the video for the Smarty Jones. Check that out at your earliest convenience. Going to be nice to have these to wake up with a hangover tomorrow, and you'll have a couple of videos to watch to get you ready for the weekend's racing. So, Smarty Jones, this is the Jesse, now, Jerome. And so we are going to get into the Jerome Stakes. And through the early days of February, we'll start seeing those points pick up. Just 10 to the winner, but there'll be 20s and 50s and 100s down the line. Oh, my state derbies from Florida to Louisiana. I'm going to have you covered on all that good stuff. So, Derby 151 content right here at Billy Ho Sports. Free to subscribe. Smash that like button. It will remain on throughout the year of 2025, totally free of charge. So, follow me on X at Billy Ho Sports for changes, scratches, updates. Like when I do these pick five videos, obviously I'm doing them 2 or 3 days, sometimes ahead of time. So horses are going to scratch out. You're going to need to do some finagling. I always do try to post a comment on my YouTube videos saying what I changed to. But if you want to make sure you get all the updated information, follow me on X. Let's get after it. We're going to jump right into it. Past performances, that is. All right, so we are over at Aqueduct, race number 8. We're going a mile out of the chute. And so it's going to be just a big, long, fat straightaway. And then we hit the turn and go for home. So 8 furlongs on the dirt for 150K. Enduring Spirit, I'm going to pass. You can see these speed figures. Don't know why this horse is in this race. I guess because RT Racing Stable really, really wanted to put the horse in the race. So good luck with that. Manzetti is number 2. And this one is an early front runner. Likes to get out there, setting some hundreds early on. Then in the 70s and the late pace was able to hold on, getting Sahan Savici is the jockey. Very good Woodbine jockey coming over across from Toronto to ride. And then so that's Kevin Attard, big time guy at Woodbine as well, bringing the horses over. So only 14% shipper though, never raced a route race. So Manzetti probably on the outside looking in on my ticket. I can. Well, if I can, you can. It's Rick Dutrow. He's just mashing it. If you see this 46% clip, he's got 16 wins, 35 starters at Aqueduct during this meet. He's crushing it. Manny Franco is the top jock right now, winning at a 25% clip as well. It's odd that Dutrow has 2 entries in this race, and I feel like Ican is the lesser of the 2, but he's putting the better of the 2 jockeys on. So interesting enough, this horse won by 6 lengths when it was pulled off the turf at 5 furlongs at Indy Downs, then jumped it to a mile going at Aqueduct. We're going this distance for 80K. Stumbled badly out of the break, but engaged in the race and rallied up for second place behind Cyclone State, who we'll talk about in a few minutes. So, well, while we're showing this particular race, they were both in. Cyclone State, you saw what he did. He gets out on front, and he's done it in the last 3 straight races. He's done it all at Aqueduct. He's done it all at a mile. So the first time around, it was off the turf on good. And then he ran, had a nice open length lead, but then he's caught at the wire by Aviator Gee. That's who this horse is here. Aviator Gee came back to run in the Remsen and just missed by about a half a length or so to Poster in that race. Aviator Gee, I think I'm very high on Aviator Gee. I ranked him in my recent Derby video to close out the year in the top 10. So the horse comes back and then crushes it the next 2 races, going a mile. So this sets up pretty well for Cyclone State and Chad Summers to do some damage in this race. Then you have back down here a little bit, Omaha, Omaha. That's old Peyton Manning cadence, and a couple of wins in a row. I think they were pretty soft races for him. I think they set up pretty well. He got a really, really fast pace in the mud going. He's not going to get that again, going 23:46 at Laurel. So he was able to bust their asses down the stretch. So I'll probably pass on Omaha, Omaha. And now Georgia Magic, sired by Good Magic. You got to like those Good Magic colts. Mage was a Good Magic colt, won the Derby a couple years ago. Wins first out, but only gets a 75 speed figure. So that's a little weak. I don't think it's going to be jumping because I think we're going to need a 90. So I don't think this horse for Ray Handle is going to jump to a 90. Ray Handle, just 35 years old, Ray Handle is, but he is getting a handle on the NYRA circuit and he's trying to make a name for himself. And a win by Georgia Magic will go a long way to doing so. Now, Cyclone State, we just talked about. This one has been improving. We've gone 73, 79, 85, and 87 since he's come off the turf. So big time chance for this one. Sired by McKenzie. Jury's still out, in my opinion, on McKenzie for the top tier horses, but you can see 3.13 sire production index. It means this horse's progeny are winning a lot early. So McKenzie, Cyclone State, definitely a threat. Studley Do Right, the most experienced horse in the race, probably of any of these 3-year-olds. He has run, you can see, 6, 7. This is going to be his 8th start. So he had 7 starts as a 2-year-old. So he breaks open the year. Xavier Perez has ridden him every time. He's gotten a couple of wins, a couple of stakes victories, won the Nashua at Aqueduct going a mile, then got in a little over his head, I think, in the Remsen. Just wasn't cut out for the mile and an eighth that day. It was just not his jam, being a more of the presser type who likes to set up a rally to close. He wasn't able to do so at the bit slower pace, 48-second half going through there. And it was really just a pretty a solid field. Like I said, Aviator Gee, we've discussed already. Tux is a good one. Poster is a really good one from Owen Hardy's barn. So Studley Do Right, every bit possibly he could go off as the post-time favorite. He's got some of the best speed figures, but he's really just kind of a steady Eddie. Like you don't see eye-popping figures early on or late pace like he's in the hundreds. He's just 90s and 80s across the board. So McAfee could be these two going at it down the stretch if the pace is going to be faster. I think we'll have a little faster pace in this one to set it up. McAfee, same deal. Got beat by a head. We discussed Optical in the previous race, so I thought Optical was a pretty solid underneath use in the Smarty Jones. So McAfee, this race was interesting because going down the stretch, Esquivel decides to dip inside and hit the rail and coming down the stretch. And it looks like that rail, if you know Churchill Downs, that rail can sometimes be a bit wonky as far as getting your best footing. And I think he didn't get his best footing to the last 100 yards where he dipped his head back up in it and lost by a head. I think if Esquivel would have dipped into the 3 path, he could have split those two rivals and gone on to the victory. But McAfee, I think, is going to have a very good chance to win this race. So, track bias stats. Obviously, this one's favoring a little bit more speed because it is just a one-turn mile, just an extended sprint, so to speak. But we have McAfee, we have Studley, we have Cyclone, and we have ICANN. I don't think I'm going to go with anybody else in this race. So, wrapping things up, I think we're going to go off the beaten path a little bit. I am going to go with Cyclone State to win. I think he's just, and I don't normally go with the pace setters and early speed like that in most any race. I always look for somebody that's stalking and looking to pounce in the stretch, like a McAfee, like a Studley Do Right. But I mean, Rick Dutrow. I mean, who am I to question him? He's he's got it on lockdown. I thought it was strange that he put Manny Franco, who's the better jockey on ICANN than McAfee, where he's got Jose Gomez. But Jose Gomez is a solid jockey in his own right, but he's about a 14% winner compared to almost 25% for Manny Franco, who's the leading jockey at Aqueduct. So that's why I kind of have a little interest in ICANN as far as maybe hitting the board. But I am going to go with Cyclone State for the win. Luis Rivera, he's not winning at a big clip either, but I like the front running ability he shows. I think maybe I'm just getting a little bit too geeked about him going up against and defeating Aviator Gee, or losing a close one to Aviator Gee, I should say, a couple races back. So Cyclone State for the win. That's all I got for you today. Be on the lookout for more content coming. Studley, McAfee, and Cyclone probably would be three of the horses on a pick five ticket. So if we do a pick five video, you'll get it right here very soon. And hopefully you're safe tonight. Hopefully you have a good time tonight. And hopefully you watch these videos tomorrow morning to help cure that hangover. Till then, see you soon.